Start off now a daily guide. Edu Amankwa detained in Zimbabwe. Ayawaso commission NDC lawyer bounced as Sam George changes story. Yao Donko denies NCA gang and 100,000 housing units coming. Where? From where? Well, we'll get to find out. The daily 107 beneficiaries enroll on other programs. 1,702 already gainfully employed. The Ghanaian Times. President inaugurates Ghana's first foreign policy think tank. Former Unibank director discharged. Charges against him dropped. Ghana's security in safe hands. Kojo Nkrumah. And implementation of Ghana Partnership Schools Project. Pre-tertiary education units protests over what? The Finder. Jail all EC commissioners over failure to provide ROPA constitutional instrument. NPA signed safety declaration with oil and LPG marketing companies. First Ghanaian drone company received commercial certificate to operate, and benefits of RTI law outweigh cost of implementation, according to the RTI coalition. The BNFT is our final one for this morning. It says speed up industrial policies to check CD slide. Commerce Chamber. Nana Danka also picture there. 77% of LPG stations labeled high risk. And review Home Mortgage Finance Act. Grade up. Plus $3 trillion US dollars. Ocean economy gets a local supply chain skills development boost. There in your the front page stories. There. My guest this morning, the Honorable ABF Hussein, is the MP for Sanerigu, is also the minority spokesperson on communication. Chief Alhaji, good morning. Thank you very much for your time. Brother? Great. How are the debates going in Parliament on the State of the Nation address?
Oh, very interesting.
Very interesting.
Very strange things are happening under this government.
Oh, how?
You should come and listen to the debate. I'm sure maybe your correspondent will tell you that.
Exactly. Everything has been
shocking revelations are coming out to the effect. For instance, yesterday, even the Agri Minister, something that cannot even qualify for a dugout. I'm telling you, John, if you can stand here and spit across what they call a dam.
Wow. And
it's taking over 2 million Ghana cedis. 2 million Ghana cedis. Something which will not go for more than 10, 15,000. From you just come and see the work, as if it is just when trucks go for gravel and they've done a gravel pit, not more than from here to the end of your gate.
Wow!
And it's a dam, 2 million Ghana cedis under this government. Very scandalous rape of the public purse, and this is what is justified. You can't believe it. And I think that there are many other issues that are coming up on the floor of Parliament that would shock many Ghanaians.
Anyway, speaking of Parliament, I'm just curious. Anyway, the people who held the Bloody Widow placard, where are they? Parliament says.
I think I was here.
Okay.
And I indicated to you that it will come to nothing, because there is absolutely no basis for all those illegal. And I indicated to you here that. Respectfully, the directive of Mr. Speaker at that time was not lawful, because we said, among other things, that in the first place, the member of Parliament elect was not a member of Parliament. At the time the placards were held, she was not a member of Parliament.
Right.
She had not taken the oath. And if she had not taken the oath and did not qualify to become a member of Parliament, she was not entitled to any privileges reserved for members of Parliament. So the article, the order 93, Mr. Speaker quoted for that, did not apply to her. But in any case, order 93, there's nowhere in the standing orders of the House where it talks about placards, let alone even describing how placards ought to be constituted on the floor of the House.
Is there a rule in Parliament not to hold placards in
That's what I'm saying. There's nothing in the standing orders of the House that talks about placards, and even talks about how placards should be constituted and what constitutes violation in the parading of placards. It doesn't. I mean, you can recall, just before President Mahama left, the minority then, in fact, where Mr. Speaker, respectfully Mr. Speaker sat, they held placards calling President Mahama a thief, calling NDC stealers. I'm sure you could see that. So what happened? Today, the boot is on the other foot.
Is that a way to go? the placards and some of the unprintables they have, very unpalatable words. Is that the way to go?
That has been the politics over the years. And for me, it's a expression by members of parliament about things that they feel, about things that they believe resonate on the ground in our political landscape.
Should we change it because the people are not happy with it?
Fine. If as we go along as a nation, anytime something happens and maybe we need to reshape and refine our democratic dispensation, why not? But I'm saying that as we speak, there is no order, no law in the Constitution of the Republic, in our laws, in the standing orders of the House, that incriminates the use of black.
Some people think that people should be punished, so it will serve as a deterrent to others in future. Do you believe that? Do you subscribe to that opinion?
You don't punish people in a vacuum.
Okay.
Even our laws even frown on retroactive legislation. So if there is no law governing somebody's conduct, and you punish, on what basis are you going to punish anybody? You can punish people for the infringement of the law. If I don't infringe any law, how do you punish me? You cannot. So there must be a legal basis for a conduct. And Parliament is the bastion of democracy.
Right.
We all agree that is the lawmaking institution in this country. And so I don't think that anybody will seek to emasculate lawmakers and prevent them from expressing themselves. In fact, freedom of expression is at the center of our politics. And so I don't think, even in making of any laws or standing orders of the House, something will be done to emasculate members of Parliament and prevent them from expressing themselves.
Okay, we're expecting Stephen Amoah of the Maslock. He is representing the MPP this morning, but he's yet to arrive. So when he arrives, we'll give him a chair. But in the studio with me is the MP for Sanerigo, the Honorable Alhaji ABA Hussaini. Let's talk about the yesterday. The information minister said that our security is in safe hands, and that he moved a motion. In fact, in moving a motion, he said that our security is in safe hands, and that all the talk about insecurity is just, a hula baloo, and you are just making a mountain out of a mold and all of that. Is that an opinion you'd want to go with? It says, well, retooling has been done. They have given the security services resources to be able to act. The president has told them to act. And so he doesn't see why you will come back to say that there's insecurity here. What do you say?
Thank you very much. I should have said good morning to all your viewers, and also to the good people of the Sanerigo constituency, to your good self, and to my brother who has just arrived. Good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
Good.
Let me say ab initio that I have every confidence in the professional capacity of our police.
Okay.
They are given the freedom to operate. They are given the requisite level of resources to function. I have no doubt in my mind that they can rise to the occasion. But and it is not just I saying it.
Okay.
The current level of the police architecture has, for the past years, contributed to emasculating them, and in recent times it has been taken to dizzying heights. In situations where the police have to work and they have to look behind their shoulders, and this has come very, very clear in respect of this terrible incidents that happened at Ayawaso West Wogon, where clearly criminal things were being done and the police had to look on helplessly. Not because they don't have the capacity to act, but because they have to look over their shoulder. They are petrified. And so for me, I think that it has created serious problem for our management of security in this country. In fact, the recent crime statistics that were released, from robberies to homicides to other distance, they all went up. And that tells you that things are happening. Today, as we speak, one of the things even that coalitions and others are talking about is even the issue of kidnapping, the three girls in Takoradi and others. The recent unexplained murders, which as we speak now, are still not resolved.
They say they are isolated cases. The information minister says
many,
the police security is...
You are talking about, if you talk about isolated case, you are talking about 4 or 5 unexplained murders. How can that be isolated? Respectfully, I have a lot of respect for my colleague, Honorable
Upon
Nkrumah. But I respectfully disagree with this to call a series of murders isolated. They by no means are they isolated. There are important things which need to be resolved, and I don't think we should hide behind the euphemism of these words and not act. So I think that, look, we should free the hands of the police.
Who is tying their hands?
I just tell you, for instance, that you listen to ACP Agozo,
right,
and then Commissioner of Police Kofi Boakye. They made it abundantly clear that, especially in respect of this issue of the vigilantes, their hands are tied. My brother, look at how across the 10 regions of this country, the invisible forces, the Delta forces, and others ran riot. What happened?
The Hawks.
You can
Azoka boys.
Azoka boys. Have you heard them run riot in any region? If you can give me examples, we'll add it. I have no problem. If they run riot, people should mention them and say it. And I'm saying that because of these issues, the police, their hands are tied. They could not act.
Okay.
And I'm not the one. Like I said, I'm not the one who said. If you go back and listen to the tape,
right,
that was played by
ACP Dr. Agozo. I remember
Agozo and Kofi Boakye. And they actually called on Ghanaians that we should rise up to the occasion and ensure that we make certain very critical amendments. And I favor that.
Okay.
I favor the amendments that can place the police as a purely professional institution.
Okay.
Not directly under the control of the executive, so that whoever commits any crime, the police can come after you.
Interesting.
So going forward, I am saying that going forward, if we are able to do that, any government, whether it is a government of the party that I belong to or a government of any other district, that comes and anybody engages in the infractions of the law, the police will go after them and make sure that the law, without having the fear of losing their jobs or action being taken against them.
Okay.
I favor that change in the
Thank you.
police.
Let's now introduce Mr. Stephen Amoah. He's the boss at Maslok. Stephen, good morning. Thank you very much for coming.
Good morning. It's a pleasure having me on your set.
Absolutely. Stephen, yesterday, moving a motion in Parliament, the Information Minister, Kojo Nkrumah, had said that the security of the country is in safe hands, and that contrary to what we're being told on the other side, that there's insecurity, it cannot be true because of the improvement that we've seen in for example, resourcing the police, plans to recruit more people and all of that. We cannot therefore say that it's. But you had ABA Fuseni. What do you say to the views out there? Are we in safe hands indeed?
Thank you. My regards to our viewers this morning. Just before then, I got here. I heard my honourable member's statement that we've done a dam and then he can spit over a dam.
Right.
In a way or by extrapolation, trying to criticize the way our approach towards attaining or taking agriculture as an integral part of our economy. And interestingly, I don't want to belabor his point, but agriculture was growing 3% under NDC before we took over. Now it's growing 8.4%. And these are facts, and he knows them. So I think it's not an issue that he should even talk about it, because the gap is too much.
He talks about the size of the dam and the cost of it.
Bro, talking about the cost, I don't have it. I'm not a tower, come and lie. I don't have the cost. But I'm saying that his point, I'm surprised.
Why are you surprised?
I'm saying they were in power 8 years. Agriculture before they left was growing 3%. This is what I think we need to find is true. And now it's growing 8%. Food is being exported to Burkina Faso under Nanado. So you let me move to my issue.
So if it's growing and the cost is exorbitant,
I'm a farmer.
Okay.
You go to Nkawanda, number 1, near Nkoko. You know I have my farmer. I'm telling you, my cassava has gone waste. My plantain there. Go and talk to my farmers. Why? Food so much in abundance that the prices are so low. This is a fact.
Okay.
You can come to my house now, see palm oil line up, prices coming down. So it's not about the lies people tell. I'm not saying Ghana is heavy, but when it comes to agriculture, it's one of the areas the government has done well. Within 2 years, grown agriculture by difference of over 5%. It's unprecedented. So let us not go into...
The cost And the size
What
of
do you
the
mean by the
dam.
cost? The cost that he said, do you have the facts? Does it mean it's
He
true?
said the cost and the size. I mean,
See,
he's mentioned
so
it.
you should
I
bring
help
it.
Can I
No,
help
no. The point is that
Okay.
if the cost is going up as he say, which I don't think is so,
Okay.
and now agriculture is doing well, expansion of agriculture means more jobs are being
Okay.
created.
Okay.
I mean, food security is a very important issue on the globe.
Okay.
And we're having food very cheap. We all know, I mean, you know, you are in Ghana here. Plantain, cassava, yam, all over, everything. And I'm a farmer myself. So, I mean, I'm not saying Ghana is heaven. He is talking about prices. They increased one bus by $30,000. Go and check the airport there, like railway. All of us have been traveling since childhood. The airport they did there, they increased the figures over $100 million.
That's why the people
I'm
voted
saying,
for change.
of
See
course, but when he cannot be saying this when he doesn't even have his facts. So what I'm saying is that this is our propaganda issue.
Okay.
Now going,
He was in Parliament yesterday.
See, I don't
Oh,
want
no,
can I-
Alaji, hold on, please. Let me. I don't want.
now let's go to
I'll
the
show you the
security
point.
issue.
He was in Parliament yesterday, and these were facts that he said were presented by the Agric Minister.
floor.
On
Which
the floor,
facts?
on the floor. of
That the
Parliament.
dam were overly priced
Yes,
or
that's
budgeted.
what he said.
That's what the minister said.
No, that's what
Exactly.
he says.
So I'm saying that I think what we have to do going forward is just a suggestion. The media houses that are leading this country, like TV3, is a great station. You're a wonderful person. He's made this statement. Let your guys go further.
We always do that.
Oh, I'm just suggesting something.
No, but we always
So,
do
but
that.
not until we've gotten our facts. We cannot say what he's saying is true.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Ghanaians cannot back.
I'm-
That is
I'm-
why.
I'm not saying what he's saying is
I
true,
know, I
Stephen.
know. You've not said that. but
I'm just asking you.
I am making my statement that we cannot say it's true.
Okay.
I'm not saying you are saying that.
Okay, right.
And I am saying that because I don't have my figures,
Okay.
I cannot say he's lying or he's speaking the truth. But what I know is that under Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, IUBF, less than 3 years, if I within just 2 years, a couple of months, agriculture has grown from 3% to 8.5%. Food is cheap.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. It's a fact. Ghanaians know.
Let's talk security.
Then, talking about security,
Is
I want
the
to-
country in safe hands, really?
I think so. It's better relatively. We are not there yet because security is a major issue on the globe.
The list of
Can I,
unsolved
Alice, can
murders.
you
No,
also?
I'm just asking
But
questions.
I get your point too. But almost every point, this is where maybe I also don't understand. At
So-
least
so
you ask me a question, you let me also land, then you come in. But once I open up, you come in, then I get confused.
Okay,
So you
sorry.
don't get my
Sorry, I'm
point.
confusing you.
Thank you.
Sorry. So
Look.
let me situate my question well. The list of unsolved murders, the political unrest, what we call vigilantism or what has been called militia, thuggery, hooliganism, and all of that, is a concern of worry. The menace of landguardism, if there's anything like that, and the other issues, robberies.
But boss, these things should be condemned.
Okay.
We should detest them. They are dysfunctional to the performance of our republic. But let us not allow propaganda from the NDC as if they are worse today. I'm coming. I'm reading this. This is Mr. John Kudalo,
Okay. IGP.
IGP. Between 2014 and 2015, this is what he said. Statistics by the Inspector General of Police, IGP, Mr. John Kofi Kudalo, indicate that a total of 1,068 high-profile murder cases were recorded in Ghana between 2014 and 2015. That's what he said. 1,068. Just a period of, I think, 1 year or 2 years. High-profile murder. In fact, 1 year between 2014 and 2015. High-profile murder. Who was in government? I'm not saying we should do this benchmark analysis or trend analysis. But when people are trying to impugn, in my opinion, unproductively partisanship component within these discussions, this is what happened. The fact of the matter is that insecurity is a global issue. I mean, I'm not trying to be too known, but even though I'm from very humble background, my parents were illiterate, I started traveling even before I went to Kenya University. The murder cases, insecurity issues in America and England, UK, you know, they are far more than us. I'm not saying we are justifying ours. It is an issue that we need to fight and eradicate them entirely from Ghana. But when you want to do politics with it, look, if you allow me to show the atrocities, cases involving murder, assault, brutalizing, cutting people's head into two. I have all the figures. Under NDC, they are here. They are even on my phone. I can let you show to the world. People, look, after all, Ayawaso, nobody died. But look what happened in BA. Yame Kwame, go and ask. I show you pictures. I'm not saying who brought Azoka Boys. And a member of parliament, Jesus Christ, is saying that Azoka Boys is for community, whatever help. Even the NDC, they will look. My brother is saying that. Honorable saying, oh, police, I believe in the police, they are good. Another member of parliament from NDC is saying that he didn't believe the police, that's why he didn't take the. I mean, the NDC, the entire embodiment, the entire structure of NDC is just all about lies and propaganda.
Do you make an individual's opinion the view of the political party? Will it be fair if
whose opinion?
No, for example, Sam George said.
No, do you hear what I'm saying? Two members of parliament in the same party.
Will it be fair?
One person is saying this, Stephen, another person is saying that.
Stephen, will it be fair if anybody lifts your opinion this morning and makes it that opinion of your party? Would you be happy? Will it be fair? If somebody today references what Stephen Amoah says here.
Anytime I'm on your state,
okay.
If I'm making a statement and I think I have to detach my party from it, I make it emphatically clear that this is my position, not MPP's position. Okay. We are making a statement that is so serious and to the core of our heart as a country, insecurity, vigilantism, that even a class 1 child in my house knows and understands and believes and acknowledge the fact that vigilantism, Azoka Boys, the Hawks, Delta Force, Invisible, whatever, these are major issues. And all the three came after even Azoka Boys. So even modern day contemporary politics, it is the NDC that initiated that thing. But we don't want to go there. And the member of parliament is no ordinary member of parliament. When the entire nation, Christians, Muslims, chiefs, young, old, colossal, dwarf, all of us are coming together to fight this national canker. A member of parliament to fight any issue such as this is the acceptance and acknowledgement of existence of that dysfunctional factor in our society, and then boldly look into the eyes of the entire country, tell us that there's nothing like that, it's for community philanthropy, and we believe in this. This is why I'm saying that the NDC, in my opinion, this is no MPP, this is not my government. Any good Christian and Muslim, that's my opinion, that reads the Bible and the Quran and believe there is Almighty God, I don't think will follow NDC because they are not ready to even change.
Can you wrap up for me?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I need to respond.
So what I you respond?
Please,
because look at who's talking about
MPP.
Talking about people
in the same parliament to Sam George. They're saying the police is good. He's saying the police is bad. The lack of cohesion, even among them.
Please.
Okay, hold on.
You see, he's heckling.
No, I've not.
He's not.
It's all right.
When I'm talking and he's talking and he's producing destructive interference of waves to impede my statement, he says he's not talking.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question?
Man.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you?
But please tell him when I'm talking.
Can I ask you a question, Steve?
You can do whatever. I'm listening.
My question is that as a matter of opinion, and I'm saying that I've had members of parliament here from your side of the divide, and I've had you here as well, who have said different things on the same subject. It doesn't make the MPP as a body look, and that's where we're going, where you try to put religion and all of that.
I see that's my opinion.
Okay.
It's my opinion. I am a sinner. I'm not an angel.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is that consistently, every organization has its values, okay, and characteristics.
Right.
The NDC, unless you don't want to be honest. I'm not saying MPP, it's heavy-made institution. No, they all do good and bad. NDC does good and does bad. MPP the same way. But what I'm saying that consistently, historically, up to now, progressively, NDC has positioned itself in a way that any honest person sees that the NDC shouldn't even be the fourth I mean, force in our political realm.
Okay.
I hope you understand something.
Let me ask you. Well, that's your opinion. Let me ask you a final question.
I know it's my opinion.
Yes,
That's why you called me. It's not your opinion.
Thank you.
I don't think it's your opinion.
Let me ask you a final.
And I'm expressing my opinion.
I give you a lot of time.
I'm expressing my opinion, not your opinion.
Stephen, let me ask you this question. Honorable Sam George yesterday said at the commission that if we fix the menace of land guards or the land guardism, whichever it is, we'll be able to solve political vigilantism. Is it an opinion you would want to agree with?
I think if we are actually doing critical analysis of this whole issue, it was a statement that, in my opinion, was a good statement.
Okay.
But it can be done when, look, solving all conflicts in the world. Conflict, I mean, destructive ones. There are positive conflict. We have type A conflict and we have type C. Right. Talking about the destructive ones, first thing to tackle is the primary factors. I mean, the core, like NDC, MPP. We need to come to the agreement table and accept the fact, acknowledge. But if you don't acknowledge and you say we should go and deal with land guards, which of course plays.
The president said give them a letter, invite them. Have you invited them?
I'm not a party executive. I wouldn't know.
So you have no idea. Honest.
Yes, I can't talk about.
Today is day 4.
I'm saying I can't talk about something I don't know. I've answered you.
Okay.
If you
have you been interested enough to find out after the president made a public comment
to find out whether they sent it?
Yes.
I've got so much on me now. I want to be honest with you. Okay. I've got so much on me now, and I think Samia Uku, John Boadu, national chairman, women organizer, I have confidence in them, their capabilities. I know they are doing well and they can handle it. Because in organization, it's not, you can't put your eyes everywhere.
So but you go on to media stations to talk. This is a topical issue.
I say I don't know. It's not everything I'll know at the time.
And I'm saying, have you been interested enough to find out?
I don't know the amount of interest you're talking about. Can I go?
Well, when you say that,
I say I don't know whether they've sent it as of now.
Okay.
I think I don't see why you want to.
No, slow down. So I'm just asking
I've told you I don't.
You don't like it when I ask you questions.
No, because of the way you ask me. I've told you I don't know, and you're pushing me. You haven't shown any interest. I think the discussion we are having. If I say I don't know, let's move on.
I'm sure you're making so much.
All right, thank you very much. Alaji, step in for me.
So you didn't let me talk?
No, I'm Stephen. You have had a lot of time, please.
You've been talking all this.
Alaji, let me come to you now.
You're talking more than I've done.
So
interesting. But you're asking me a point. I'm talking. You asked me a different question.
The president yesterday said that we should have a bipartisan meeting to deal with the menace of vigilantism. Some elements of your party have said that they won't go for the meeting. Some say the meeting is useless. What do you say?
Yeah, before I come to that, I'm sure my...
No, I want you to give me an answer before you go
I will, I beg you, please.
So it doesn't draw responses from him.
No.
Give me a definite response.
Because there are certain things that I need to respond.
But yes,
I
agree.
So
but
I beg you.
I want an answer now so that we can go to this one. Would you go for the meeting? Would you advise your party to go for that bipartisan meeting?
Let me say from the outset that the good people of this country elected to have a democratic dispensation, where dialogue rather than force and the use of guns to pummel people into submission is the order. And so in any democratic dispensation where calls to dialogue come, they should be very welcome. And so ordinarily, what His Excellency the President put up would have been very welcome, except that we are not in ordinary times. And also judging by the sincerity of that proposal made by the President, we find it to be insincere. And let me state why. You see, Johnny, you cannot have your mouth full of water and you say you want to blow to the candle fire. The MPP's mouth is full of water and they say they are blowing to the candle fire. You are talking about the situation where you have now elevated political violence and thuggery to the state level. The state is the arbiter between political parties and groups. The state is supposed to be the instrument that should intervene to ensure that public order, peace, order, and stability prevail. And that in any situation of conflict, they should stand as a neutral instrument. Okay? When President Nana Akufo-Addo swore the oath at the Independence Square on the 7th of January 2017, he didn't swear to come and bring Delta forces and MPP, invisible forces and others into the main security ambit and make it look like it is a partisan element for MPP supporters. Okay? So you are infusing people into the security establishment. People of questionable conduct.
That has not been established yet.
Yeah, it has. Look, even the IGP. You remember this issue where this man was pointed out as somebody who was wanted for armed robbery, and he was found in one of those people. He was found among those people wearing those uniforms and filthy and on the police vehicle on that day, and armed with AK-47 rifles. Okay, so we are saying that you cannot be inundating these security services with your vigilantes and then turn around again after it, because in the run up to 2020, and you remember even the Upper West Security Coordinator who even issued statements to the effect that the party should bring him able-bodied, well-built boys for them to train. As we speak now, that even exercise has not been debunked. So you are making all these preparations, and then you turn around and tell the NDC that they should come and be part of an arrangement that would disband vigilantes. It is not sincere.
If you refuse or if you fail to do that,
yes,
push legislation.
My brother, what legislation? You see, the president is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of this country. He is the first servant of this country.
The IGP says
there are laws in this country. Why? What new law does he need? Anybody who goes and commits a crime, there are sufficient laws in this country to apprehend and punish the perpetrators. Those who committed those atrocities in Ayawaso West, the evidence is there. They should have gone for them directly. They don't need. Do you need any law to have gone for them?
Sam George says,
what law? I'm telling you, what
fix
law?
The problem of the land guards.
What law
and
is
you will solve this forever. Do you agree?
I'm coming to that. What law do you need to be able to fix this problem when, in the face of this atrocity, evidence abounds about the criminality of those elements?
The president.
So it is possible to deal with.
The president has given you one week ultimatum.
I don't think we need any laws. He should. Why? You haven't finished wrestling with Peter. You are adding for the laws that we have are there. You are not enforcing them. You are asking for more laws. To do what? Because there's sufficient evidence to have gone after the perpetrators, the criminals, the bloodthirsty hoodlums.
Sam George fingered the land guards. He says stop them and we will have peace. Do you agree?
I'm sure he was only preferring a long-term solution. He was trying to look at the issue, and I have seen some newspapers saying that he has not changed any stance. What he has said, that he has been very consistent, that these were the things that happened, where the firing took place, who fired, and even the identification, including even one of the members who gives protection, bodyguard of Samuel Wuku, the national organizer of the MPP. He was identified. Okay? Some other persons were there. Sam George actually went to identify one of the guys who assaulted him. He's working free as we speak. What law does the president need to deal with such perpetrators? By now, he should have been in custody.
Are you doubtful of the commission's work?
I'm saying that even as the commission does its work, it doesn't stop the law from being enforced. Are you telling me, for instance, that because the commission is working, we must freeze everything and wait for the commission to finish? Okay. So that if there are cases where the law needs to be activated, we should wait until the commission completes its work. Because even as the commission does its work, those criminal elements who can be identified and dealt with, they should be dealt with.
So are you giving me indication that the NDC is not as committed to finding a solution to the menace of the vigilantism as we have now?
It's like you are comparing a university professor to a JHS student.
And who is the university professor? Who is the JHS?
Yes, and I'm saying that because you see, that's why I talked about the elevation to which they are done. You understand the point I'm making? So we are comparing apples and oranges. We are talking about a situation where, in the case of the Delta forces, the invisible forces, the track record of their propensity for violence is across the country.
That's not more like equalization.
Tell me what violence Azoka boys across the length and breadth of Ghana. There is no region that has escaped the menace of the Delta and invisible forces. Not a single region.
Azoka boys beat your own internal party people.
I am saying that give me the evidence region by region. Okay. That is why I'm just telling you that you are comparing a university professor to a JHS student. We are talking about the magnitude, and I'm saying that if it comes to the issue of people sitting down, you need to do a very thorough work of purging.
So go and sit down at the table. The president says 1 week.
I'm saying that
today is day 3.
I'm saying that number 1. Even you just asked a question. Today is day 7. Day 6.
Okay.
When the president made the broadcast, he made the broadcast on Thursday.
Thursday, right?
Tomorrow will be 1 week. Even the letter that he talked about, invitation from the MPP headquarters, has it come? So that one even tells you that even they are dragging their feet. I listen to.
If Mohammed doesn't go to the mountain, the mountain goes to
I listen to even the national organizer of the NPP. He was asked, this is the days, John Joe FM, you were asked, this the 5 or 6 of them. You still haven't written that. They say, oh, a lot of their national executives have traveled. Some were engaged in other assignments. And so they have not yet come. They are waiting for them to come, for them to convene a meeting to discuss what the president has said, even before a letter will be written. So I'm just telling you that even that speaks volumes about their level of commitment.
Okay, Stephen.
To this, but I think you deny me.
We need to go.
I wanted to start on this thing. Stephen made, my brother Stephen made some points in respect of the police.
Okay, I think you've had
the FPP in opposition.
I think you've had
they made it abundantly clear that they did not believe in the police forces, the police service as a whole. They jettisoned the police service. I said they had no belief as a political party. I'm not even talking about
when you are in opposition.
We're in opposition. The NDC as a party has not declared a vote of no confidence in the police.
A few.
I'm saying that the NDC as a party,
a few weeks ago,
we have not as a party declared a vote of no confidence.
But elements within.
We have been critical about some lapses within the performance of the work of the police.
Okay,
certainly, but don't mistake that.
Thank
the
you.
NPP said as a policy.
Thank you.
They don't believe, but I'm just.
We need to go. Let me make this last
point. I beg you.
But you have a lot.
You know, Stephen Amo said that prices of foodstuffs are so low on the market.
Do you doubt that?
Many Ghanaians will cry today. Master, go to the market.
Why will you doubt
the sweetness of the pudding is in the eating.
He's a farmer. When
you go look,
he has produce that is going bad.
A bag of maize. I'm a farmer myself. Under the NDC, a bag of maize sold for 70 Ghana cedis. Go to the market today. 170, 180 cedis.
A bag of maize. He's looking at you with doubt.
A bag of maize. I'm challenging your team. After this, they should adopt this. Go down and prove which of us.
Stephen, wrap up for me. What will be your closing thoughts?
I'm closing now.
Yes. What will be your closing thoughts?
Thank you. The fact is, I'm a farmer.
Okay.
Maybe Honorable hasn't done farming before.
I say
when it comes to maize,
allow him.
Then let your Quran guide you, because when it comes to maize, we have seasons. I sell maize. You store them. We have peak season. We have times that maize prices go up.
Right.
And the NDC, I sold maize as far as 150 Ghana. Is it? I don't know Accra very well, but the place getting to Ofanko, the market there that you can go to Hachu or whatever.
Okay.
That's why I sell my maize. He's just lying. Look, talking about.
I'm sure he's lying.
Allow him. Stephen, wrap up.
It wasn't NDC chairman Potofi, 7 July, Talensi election, that was holding AK-47 in his car. Are you now aware in this country? I don't want to go into all these things. What I'm saying is that whether it was NDC or MPP, I mean, this country, even President Mahama said that when it's violence, they are stronger than us. I don't want to go by all these jargons. We need to move forward as a country because violence is deteriorating the structures of our country. It's getting our country into a deplorable state. It's becoming just functional to the performance of our economy, our businesses, jobs. These are major issues that I'm expecting member of parliament not to even talk like even me and show to the world that yes, he is leading a community. Look, Azoka boys, they came to Talensi, they came to Atiwa, they've been coming to Kumasi elections, by and even general elections. They are vast in their numbers. So my brother, honorable member, is not being honest with the truth. And not until the NDC, our brothers, begin to demonstrate and illustrate pictorially, they are ready for us to make sure we kill this canker. Because they play integral role.
Okay.
But if they are not accepting that, how can we as a people fight this issue?
And
they are not, because they always say liars. NDC, they are always lying. They don't even care about God.
They are not sincere.
Thank you very much. Stephen,
don't fear God.
Stephen, will you push for the letter to be written from your party to invite the NDC?
I'm saying I don't even know his status. Whether they've written
I'm asking now.
So will I push?
Yes.
I will support that they do that. Why not?
Okay.
But I don't know. Probably even as you are talking, they've done it.
They've done it.
And writing letters such as this, the way this country is polarized, and the way people can trace information. You know, we have a lot of people that always want to display their ego trips. I mean, intellectual dishonesty, unconscious incompetence, and stuff like that. If you're even writing just a mistake with a letter, somebody like you will pick that thing, forget about all the others, and begin to. So I'm sure probably if it's delaying, probably they are taking their time.
To me.
Not you, like media.
Is that somebody like me?
Yeah, because
That's not fair
that's
to
what
me.
Ghana.
That's not fair to me.
I withdraw. But you've done a lot of unfair things to me, so we are brothers. Don't worry.
Anyway,
what I'm saying is that
Alaji,
what I'm saying,
if you transform
Alaji is coming back again.
no.
If you transform your son into a monster, you'll be among those to be defeated.
Okay, thank you, Stephen.
That's why the monsters that they do when they were in opposition
is the boss
vigilante
at
forces
the
and the others they train.
Maslon office in this country. And Alaji ABA Fuseni is the Member of Parliament for Sanerigu and is also the minority spokesperson on communications. It's 6 days after the president made a definite statement in Parliament. We have not seen the letter inviting the NDC to the table to discuss how to fix the menace of vigilantism. The NDC says, we are not sure this is how to solve the problem. What do you think? Let's hear from you after this break.